Ian, look at this.
What, it's a police box? What on earth's he doing here? I mean, these things are usually on the street. I feel it. I feel it. Do you feel it?
Faint vibration.
It's alive.
Earth Station Who, a fun mashup exploring over 60 years of the Doctor Who universe. Hold on tight. You never know where the crew of the TARDIS is going next.
Hey there, Whovians, and Happy New Year, and welcome to the newest episode of Earth Station Who. We've got a holiday special to talk about, a Christmas special, exactly. We're talking all about joy to the world. And, you know, the newest episode, supposedly the last episode of Doctor Who written by Stephen Moffat.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Right.
And by last, you mean most recent.
Exactly.
Right. Exactly.
Exactly.
Pretty much, yes.
Exactly. No, Mike, you said it perfectly there. It's
not to be confused with final.
final. I didn't say final. I just said last.
I don't think he did either.
Nope, exactly.
Nope.
So it's going to be interesting to talk all about Joy to the World. We will be spoiling the hell out of it. And please, you know, we definitely would love to hear from you guys. What did you guys think? Did you like it? Did you not? You know, overall, I've been hearing very positive things. I'm going to be very curious what my fine folks here have to say about it. But write us, please. feedback@earthstationwho.com. We do have a little bit of mail to talk about, but we'll do that at the end of the episode. And we have a great crew here to talk all about this. Let's welcome our guest tonight. Dave Chapman is back. Hello.
Hello,
Dave.
hello.
Welcome back, sir. It's been a little bit.
It has. I'm glad to be back, though.
Yeah, it's always nice to have you, and happy holidays, sir.
Happy holidays.
It's worse, Mel. Now even worse.
If you're listening to this on audio, we're making fun of how Melanie looks.
Yes, exactly.
Ignore me!
Exactly. Those who actually, you know, on video, you have the fun of seeing Melanie actually playing with her camera and trying to set it up.
Trying desperately to.
I know. Desperately trying to get her.
And we'll just screen cap that.
Of course. I think that's going to be her new image on Facebook. We're going to have her.
Meme it. Melanie's not happy I'm back.
We'll have to wait and see on that one. But let's say hi to our regulars. Of course, Mary Ogle is here.
Hi, everybody. It is fantastic to be here.
And Mr. Mike Gordon.
Howdy. Happy New Year.
And, of course, the camera girl herself, Melanie Dean.
I am a consummate professional, damn it. I found a camera. So I'm trying to look it up and be sneaky about it, but apparently I'm not doing that. But hi, everybody! I'm so happy we're going to be talking about the Christmas special.
Yes.
So awesome.
So we've had a week just about to, you know, have this sink in, watch it and everything. So let's go around, actually, and see what everyone's initial thoughts are on this. Let's go ladies first. Melanie, since you're having all the camera problems tonight, you're going to go first. What are your initial thoughts?
Now I'm just trying to step back now, since now I have a better camera, maybe.
Maybe.
Can you tell how horrible my hair is? No, I really like this episode. I mean, you know what? No, I take that back. I did not like this episode because I have made a steadfast rule that I am not going to watch any more Pixar movies because, no, you're not going to make me cry. I'm not paying money for people to let me cry. And 3 times I teared up on this damn thing. And I'm a robot, okay? I look over at my poor husband and he's just because he's the only human in the relationship. I was even like, yes, it got me in the feels. And it was
even androids can cry. It's wonderful.
I know, right? You'd think
it's wonderful.
Have better tech, but anyway.
Well,
I really
there you go.
this. And I set the bar low and I enjoyed the heck out of it.
A 3 crier.
A 3 crier.
Well,
3 times I got
3. Yeah.
3 times.
Stephen Moffat would be so proud.
Oh,
Yes, he would. Mary, what about you?
I love this episode. I really enjoyed it. It was nice to see Stephen Moffat again. Yes, I'm a diehard Stephen Moffat fan, and damn it, I am unapologetic about it.
Okay.
I really enjoyed it.
No, that makes
I will say, though, that it was not, it had very little about joy, and a lot about Anita. And I really liked Anita, so I was perfectly happy with that.
No, I actually have that in my notes that it felt like Anita was the true companion in this story more than Joy.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And so it was really interesting to see. Mike Gordon, what about you?
I really appreciated this one as well. What I love about Stephen Moffat's writing, as far as particularly his Doctor Who writing, is that, and I've said this before many times on this podcast, and I'm going to say it again, and I'll say it again in the future. You can use the Time Hotel to check it all out, but um, nobody, nobody in the history of this franchise writes time time travel stories like Steven does. Like
Yeah.
nobody does. Like that is his what that's the thing that he brings most to Doctor Who to me. And so I'm always, and he's always managing to come up with some clever thing, a clever way of using time. And even within, like, the concept of the time hotel itself is one thing, but that's not enough for him, because then he's got things that he's doing in, like, within that structure as well. I mean, it's very, very layered. But again, he doesn't forget about character either. And as Melanie said, there's moments in here that are really emotional, between Joy, Anita, the Doctor. Like, I mean, poor Trev. Like,
Poor
like,
Trev. Poor Trev.
I mean, there's just like, I mean, it's just like he manages to do so much with so little. I think, it's only an hour, not even an hour long, and you can get caught up in it. It's not the best Christmas special I've ever, if you want to compare it to others, like you said before, like we'll do. But I think Stephen had a purpose in his mind to do another Christmas episode, because he wasn't satisfied with the last one or two that he done. He felt like he had one really good one in him. And I think he knocked it out of the park here. I think he's delivered.
No, I agree with that. I agree with that completely. It's gonna be fun getting into this one. Dave, what do you think?
I really enjoyed it. Is it the best ever? No, but I still loved it, like every minute of it. It was a great episode, not just a great Christmas special. I would say it's a great episode, and it sets up a lot of great things for the future and a few Easter eggs of what might happen in the future too.
Mhm.
So I'm excited for this and for the next season because of it.
No, I agree completely. Like the rest of you guys, I love this one. I thought it was a lot of fun. The first time I watched it, I had to percolate on it a little bit. I had to go afterwards. I was like, Judy was like, "What did you think? Did you like it?" I said, "I enjoyed it. I liked it." Did I love it the first time? No, I did not. But, and no, I'm not a robot like Melanie is, but, I did like seeing Ncuti was amazing in this. I loved Moffat's writing. I liked, and he stole some of the tropes he's done in the past. No doubt about it. Stuff with Villain Guard and such, and we'll get into that. But on the second viewing, I liked it a lot more. And even on the third viewing, I so became enthralled that I wanted to see Anita travel with the Doctor. I think, and that's a question I wanted to ask you guys. Does she now count as a companion, or does she just, count as, just the companion that wasn't type thing?
She didn't go on the TARDIS.
That's true.
She did not step on the TARDIS.
Neither
She
did
has a
Joy.
little TARDIS.
Yeah.
She was given a TARDIS.
She has a little toy TARDIS.
But I mean, that's the beauty of her, and that relationship, is that she's not on the TARDIS. I mean, within this whole crazy thing that Steven sets up, and all of the stuff that's going on, all the madness, all of a sudden, like about halfway through the episode, he just takes a break. And it's almost like the Doctor himself taking a break in his life, to just chill.
Yeah.
to chill for a year with this character Anita, and it doesn't, it doesn't mean anything to the whole run of the episode of what's going on, the plot wise or whatever. It's just a complete break. I think it has themes, as Dave was saying, that it's thematic because it leads to other things, but it's just a really nice companionship that they share, which you don't usually see very often. And it's just really nice. And Steven, with all the other crazy stuff that he's got going on, he puts this in there, and it's just, I mean, that's really the most joyful part of this whole story, which is ironic because it's not joy, right? I mean, and I don't mean to dismiss anything that Nicola as Joy does, because I think she's awesome as well. And there's some moments of emotion with her too, but that stuff with her, that Doctor and Anita is just, it's just gold for, especially for long time Doctor Who fans, because you don't see the Doctor do this very often.
No, you got to see the Doctor live day after day after day in order, like he said in this episode. He says, I usually don't, live the same way you do and live a daily life. I jump around to different points and everything, which is awesome.
Yeah. Even when he has done that, I mean, when he was the third Doctor stranded with UNIT and stuff like that, even when he was doing that, he wasn't waiting tables and cleaning toilets.
Yeah.
I loved when he had the plunger and he says,
Plunger.
Oh, that was so wonderful.
The look of fear in his eyes.
I
He's like,
Great.
That's Ncuti selling it. It's a silly, stupid joke, but it works because Ncuti is so. This is, I mean, Ncuti is great. I mean, he holds this whole thing together, and it's just, he can do no wrong, really. He's just amazing.
And he plays really, really well off of himself in that one scene.
Literally.
Yeah, literally. And it was wonderful to see. And, I liked it because it was like the first time I saw it and watched it, I was like going, so where did the number come from? And it came from the Doctor. It's a circle of a loop and everything. And that's the cool thing. It's such a Moffat thing the whole time.
And that's one of the things, I don't mind it, but it drives people crazy. That's one of the Moffat tropes that drives people crazy, is because
that's not even a Moffat trope. That's a Doctor Who trope. The bootstrap paradox has been around a long time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, but Steven just kind of waves at stuff and just says, yeah, that's okay. It's not really, what's important here. So, and we know Russell's done it too. And yes, you're right. It's not like that uncommon, but I will find, I mean, if people target, because he works so much with time travel and there's so many different versions of time travel, there's a lot of people who don't appreciate, Steven's, I don't want to say interpretation, because he takes them all and he works with them all. And yes, they don't make sense, but time travel doesn't make sense. And this is fiction, people. It's okay if it doesn't make sense.
It's not real life, folks. Get over it.
And even if you look online, there's a lot of people complaining about this, as you'd expect, but he even explained it in the episode. Like, there's so many of these little bits that bootstrap paradox, and this is why it didn't matter, moves on.
Right.
There was a lot of those drive-by comments that I miss, a lot of people miss on their first watch, and then they're like, what? This is insane! But he literally said XYZ.
Right.
Why? But yeah, it's this was one of Ncuti's best outings as a Doctor. I would argue possibly his most doctory of them.
I could see that very much.
That's a pretty good observation. I think he's really comfortable in the role, and I think he's being written as such now. People are writing. I mean, I think it was before they were, but they didn't really know him as well. But now he's had a season under his belt. And I think it's, we'll see what happens when Russell takes over for the second season. But I mean, Ncuti's got it down. Like he just knows. He knows who he is as the Doctor. And
I'm seeing a little bit of Sylvester in him.
Ooh,
a little from this episode, because he just went from happy-go-lucky to manipulating you with a smile. He just fell into that so naturally. which is so opposite what he's been trying as the Doctor to go for. He's
Right.
trying to avoid that side of his personality and his tendencies, but he just slipped into it so naturally, and it was so well done. And then he comes out and is like, "Oh, I'm so sorry," totally heartfelt. But just seeing him do that was kind of just creepy.
Oh, it was wonderful seeing him manipulate Joy, getting her angry at him. And, the whole thing about, how, you know, she, no one wants to be around her. Oh, Joy, it's, everyone's, joking about her name and about, even your mom doesn't want to be around her. Oh, and then she lit up because you found out the backstory. It was interesting because people were saying, is it too soon to be talking about people dying from COVID? And
Of course, it's not too soon.
No.
That's a
No,
reality
exactly.
that happened.
It did happen.
We
And
should be talking about it. That should be,
and
that's a part of the fabric of our lives now. And
you
I think
guys
to
ready?
deny that does a real disservice to people who lost people during COVID. I
Oh,
couldn't visit
completely.
my mom during COVID. She was in the hospital for a while, then she was in a rehab home. We stood outside the window and waved at her. It
Mhm.
was, people really went through that. So I'm so glad that Stephen Moffat went there. I because you don't see it very much in
No,
anything.
exactly.
And so it was really nice that he said, "I'm just going to go there and face reality."
Well, exactly. And that was interesting too, because so many people, lost loved ones during COVID, and people are trying to block that out and try to not associate with it. It's crazy because, we're about to go into 2025. In March, it's going to be 5 years already since the lockdown happened. And it's crazy with that. And I think they handled it really well. And, it was, it was very well done, especially with Joy's mom at the end, I thought.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it was nice that they circled back to that.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
glad
And
they
then,
did. Yeah.
And there was definitely it was another one of those very British moments too, because she referenced, the politicians having their parties, which happened less on our side of the pond, but that was a big giant scandal over there, was Boris
Yeah,
having
with Boris.
his
his
giant
Yeah.
parties
yeah.
Oh, big
while
time.
everyone else was locked up at home.
Mm-hmm.
Basically,
So,
they were thumbing their nose at us and
yeah.
everything. So yeah, but it was I like that. What did you guys think of the Time Hotel? I want to get your take on that.
First time I
Someone
saw
suggested there's going to be a spin-up. There could be a spin-off from that, and I would love to see that. If not a spin-off, I would love to see next year's Christmas special.
a big finish
also be
series. I when they first showed the lobby, I was like, man, this looks like a Next Generation set. I mean,
Yeah.
it's so pristine and clean and precise, and I mean, it just looks like the people who designed the Next Generation Enterprise were working on this, or Orville, if you will. I mean, yeah, it's cool. I know that the Doctor's never really been a big fan of other time travelers or time agencies. So I did find it interesting that he was really cool with this concept. It just goes to show you how Ncuti's Doctor is a little different than other incarnations. But yeah, I mean, it's a fun concept. I don't know if I didn't put that much energy into it, to be honest with you. I believe that we are I find out later that, Anita, and we're assume that she takes a position there at the end, that her last name is some sort of Easter egg to a series of novels or something like that. And I was just like, I don't care. Like I just
No,
want it to be Anita. Like I don't want her to be a reference to something. I don't want her to be an Easter egg, right? I want her to be,
right.
because I mean that's the
You want her
problem
to
that
be a
some
person.
right.
Mhm.
That's what,
Well, exactly.
Stephen kind of has that problem sometimes where he does kind of go overboard a little bit with that. So
A
I
Doctor Who showrunner that goes overboard? No way. No.
The
with
bleep, you
Very
say?
but
with things like that. So yeah, but I mean it's a cool concept, and I think To the point, though, I think that Stephen used it really, really well, and in a way that was unexpected here. So I like that. The fact that the kitchen is in the future,
30
so
minutes
like
in
right
the
after you
future.
order it, boom, it's right there. Like
Yeah, that was
that was
great.
awesome. Yeah,
But I love the little comment they did. Oh, it's 30 minutes in the future. It's still microwaved.
still microwave.
Can't expect miracles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
This
a
is
hotel. What do you want?
24,000, you know.
yeah.
I
But it
absolutely
was
love.
nice. Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry,
Go
I
ahead,
was going to say
Melanie.
the nuance, the nuance for humanity, like that, like the human condition of the doctor being able to see how the first guy with the suitcase, and that's the first time he's here, and he's not looking up, which is something anybody who usually goes into a new hotel, you the first thing, especially if you have an atrium that high with that many stories, you walk up and you're going to look up. I just
Oh,
thought that was such
exactly.
a neat thing where the doctor has that is that perceptive to realize something's really off with this man because he's not enjoying the
Oh,
aesthetics of
exactly.
this.
When I used to live in New York City, we used to joke about it. You could always tell who the tourists were because the tourists were looking up at the buildings and everything. All the locals, boom, they just go on with their day. They're used to it. It's and everything.
I thought it was a really
And
fun moment too, where the doctor like doesn't realize what he notices. Like he goes in, he starts putting on his jacket, starts getting his Sonic, and he's like, "Why am I doing this? What did I notice?" Like that was a really, really fun scene.
Yeah.
Like he's
That
like,
was
it's
great.
like the doctor sort of catching up to it. Like it's so automatic with him now. I mean, he's gone. Like he is so old, and he's done this so often that his body just knows what to do sometimes before his brain does.
Mhm.
I just love that because when he says something, because he says something about something else like, oh, habit, force of habit, when he gets the two cup
Yeah.
mugs instead of one, right? Well,
mhm.
there's a lot of like force of habit going on there, which I thought was funny because he looks
Oh,
so tired. There's a big like Douglas Adams Hitchhiker's Guide vibe when he comes out of the TARDIS in his bathrobe and
Yes.
everything.
Yeah.
I
it
really
must
got
be
that
Thursday. It has to be Thursday.
exactly.
Yeah.
I got that vibe from there, which was kind of nice.
Now that was really awesome. I loved that when and Reg walks up to him and he's like, "Oh, is that your loo?" It's like going to, is that your bathroom? It's like you got, it's like, who takes a cup of coffee into the bathroom with them? It's like, well,
Yeah.
anyway, so it's kind of, it was a lot of fun. And I liked how, Trevor and the doctor were playing off of each other. I thought it was really nice. And the
Mhm.
chemistry there was really good and everything. And it was nice seeing, the actor because I've seen him in, Joel Fry. He was in, Our Flag Means Death.
Mhm.
He's also been in Yesterday. He's been in so many
Game
different,
of Thrones.
yeah, Game of Thrones. Exactly. You know, so it's interesting to, see, these him in Doctor Who finally, and
Mhm.
I was like disappointed they killed him off in the first 10 minutes of the show, and it was just like,
That
what?
was the first Misty part where I realized that the thing came off and then it went on to him and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
and that he felt so bad that he had a mission and that he was going to do something and that he was going to fail it. And I'm like, my heart was breaking for him.
Moffat.
But there
Yeah,
is such
but
great, yeah, I mean, that's just, I think the reason the story works, it's not really, has nothing to do with plot, which it usually doesn't with Stephen Moffat. It's the character moments. And it's
mhm.
Trev. I mean, you fall in love with Trev in like the first 5 seconds. There's just something endearing about his awkwardness, and
He's a puppy dog.
the actor's really selling it. And so when, like you just said, he dies very quickly, but you care. I
Oh
mean, you
Yeah.
yeah,
are
so,
invested in Trev
Yeah,
almost
he's the third one to
immediately.
die, but you don't care about the other two as much as you care about Trev.
no,
Yeah, you get to
Yeah.
know Trev in those few seconds. And I think that's why Anita stands out to me more than Joy. You get to know a lot more about
Oh yeah.
Anita than
yes,
you do. Joy is actually to me, Joy was kind of underused, and that might be a slight criticism I have of this episode.
hmm
You just didn't get to know her in the same way. And so it didn't necessarily have the same impact at the end that it might have otherwise if you had gotten to know her better.
Joy was only in this episode for like 15 minutes total.
She was in it. I mean, time-wise, screen
Yeah.
time, she's in it more than Anita is.
She
It
just
feels
does
like,
not make. I'm not sure
no,
I would
exactly.
say that.
You wouldn't say that, but it's an illusion because it feels like because a lot of
It
times
feels
when
like
she's not
Anita's
in
in
it
it
with
for a year, you
she's
know?
not in it with she's not because she doesn't do anything of substance for a long time, like
Mhm.
a lot of times.
Mhm.
Whereas everything with Anita is like right there, and that because it's only that sequence with the Doctor and Anita is only like maybe 6-7 minutes tops.
But
So
it
I mean, it's
packed
not
it in there.
it's
The
not that
impact.
long. Like
It's the
It
she's
packed
not
it in
impact.
in
there
it.
like the
She
beginning of
really isn't
Up.
in it that much. Anita's like in it, more than that. But we don't, and we do learn a lot about Anita. I mean, about Joy. We learn about her mom, her relationship, et cetera, et cetera. And we learn, through the Doctor's meanness, which I mean, he's got her pegged. That's that. Oh man, one of those nice things where he says that makes you think too, where he's like, you can learn a lot about a person by what hotel room they have, their hotel room, their choice of hotel room, and I just thought that was a really interesting idea that he kind of fleshed out. I don't know if it holds up completely all the time, but I did think that was pretty interesting. Just like I don't know if the concept of there's always a locked room in a hotel room. Like, I mean, I know I've stayed in a lot of hotel rooms that have locked rooms. 9 times out of 10, they just go to the room next door. Like,
Mhm.
that's
Well,
not.
no. That's where you think they
There you
go.
go.
But they don't go to a brick wall, is what I'm saying. They don't like they're not just there to be there. But
Again, that's
I
your
If I was building a hotel, I
perception.
would be.
Oh yeah. I always
but I
loved it. Is there another room in this hotel that has, a door like this? And said, "Oh, the honeymoon suite."
Yeah, but you see, the difference is the relationship between the Doctor and Anita develops naturally.
Mm.
There's a
Yes.
lot of the Doctor telling Joy things,
Sure.
telling Joy she is this,
Yes.
rather
Yes.
than us really learning about who she is. And I think that lessened the impact
Well, I
for
mean, the
me.
way it's written, the Joy gets taken pretty quickly, so it's
Now, the
not
actress is
really.
good, though.
Yes,
This is nothing
absolutely.
against the actress.
Yes, and
Yes.
and I think the emotional beats are there because when he's mean to her, and when she finally breaks down, I think that's a very tearful moment. And the scene with her, where she's reunited with her mom at the end, I think is pretty tearful.
Yeah,
So,
those were
I mean,
both good
there
moments.
are some moments there that still resonate, even though she's used quite differently. And I think, I don't want to, yeah, I don't want to get too much into it, but I know that Stephen is often pegged for not writing women characters very well, but I don't think that's very fair of him. And I think if you use this as an example, I think you'll find that he's just fine when it comes to female characters.
I really like how he had Anita the goodbye between the two of them. Like she knew that the Doctor was leaving and that he was going to be here for a year. So she already knew when he was booked when he was going to leave.
Right.
But that having even that time together, they would showcase them working together, their chair time, which was them playing and having fun. They're having their off work and at work, off work, all that kind of stuff. How they were relaxing on. I love them relaxing on the catwalk and just looking at the sun with their little daiquiris and just we're just enjoying the sun. It's okay.
Exactly.
But the bitter, it was so bittersweet between the two of them, but you knew that both knew this is what they were headed towards. And
Sure.
I loved the hug, and I love the fact that they hugged twice. Just that, this is the goodbye, and this is the final goodbye. And that to me it was a nice, and that was my second time. I was sad because I was really in this. I really wanted her as a companion, and I would make the argument for a year she was a companion, that she had her own the microwave that was bigger on the inside. Her car became a TARDIS because he did some jiggery pokery to her sat nav, and
I
that it
love
would tell
that.
her where
It
she
took her
needed to
where it
go.
needed to go. I
And
love
then it
that.
became, well, then when did it become blue? I
Yeah.
loved that.
Yeah.
And that he left her with a little TARDIS. So, and again, I make the argument that we know that he stayed with her for a full continuous year. That's probably more time, more days than, FaceTime with other companions. Even though, yes, we
Yeah.
see seasons, but I mean,
Yeah.
12 episodes, 12 days, maybe.
I mean, I agree. I actually always thought that it was pretty arbitrary to when people started saying that the only way you could be a companion is if you went on the TARDIS, because I don't think that necessarily has anything to do with it in regards to the relationship the Doctor could have with somebody. And so
Right.
there's no reason why Anita couldn't be considered a companion, in my view, and for the same reasons that Melanie just stated. I mean,
Yeah. It's interesting too because he was in London and Unit was there, and
Mhm.
why didn't he, you know, go off to Unit to help out or something? Instead, he spent the year at the hotel.
Because
And
his future self told him that he had to go the long way around, and he had
right,
to figure it out. And I think the Doctor knew that the answers that he wanted, that he needed, were not going to come from there. And I am confused as to why he was there for a year, and then he goes to New York and gets in the hotel room there to access the hotel again, which I didn't understand why. Like this, even the second time, that didn't make sense to me. I was just like, why isn't he just at the same? Like, yeah, I didn't get that.
it wasn't
But
guaranteed that it was going to open in 2025 into that room.
But how did he know it was going to open at the hotel at the Exeter in New York?
He had the brochure for it. He had the brochure for the
I
hotel
missed
at
that.
Christmas
So good call.
2025
Mhm.
right on top.
Yeah, good call. I missed
I
that.
I